go. Hey, y'all. Welcome to episode 279 of Consignment Chats. Guys, what if you could snap a photo of that denim jacket, that one you found, and know exactly what it's worth, where to sell it, get the description, an SEO title, all of that done for you in under 30 seconds?
Ooh, wait. How does this all work?
Well, we're going to break it down. We're going to talk AI today, y'all. We're going to talk about the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and we're going to start with breaking down how AI works because we're all dabbling in it a little, some of us more than others, right?
Yeah. All right.
We've got apps like Nifty. Samantha does Nifty, Vindu.
Yep.
We've got apps like eBay has AI, Poshmark, Google Lens, Photo Room. Everybody's doing it. Are you? All right. Let's go. Let's break it down, kids. Come on.
All right. Everybody is doing it. I feel like everywhere we look, there's some piece that is just generated for us now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming. And like there's all these things like you're feeling, should I use it? Am I cheating? Is it making my process more efficient? Is it, what's the right thing? What's the right thing to do as a reseller? And I know how I've been using it, and I've been kind of dipping my toe in it for quite a while now.
Well, tell us about how you've been using it, because I think all of these feelings that we feel are normal when anything big and new is introduced into our lives, right? There's always that back and forth that, where is it for me? Is it not? Is it good for the environment? Is it good for my business? Is it good for me? All that things happen when any new big thing is introduced into our life. But I think it will help people know how exactly we use it. So how do you use it, Libby?
So mine's kind of been a slow slide into AI, and like as a piece, like kind of integrates with my process. I haven't changed anything I'm doing because of AI or so I could utilize AI, but I've had, oh wait, I can click on this and Google Lens is going to give me a description, an approximate value. Like it just fits right into my process. Like it's the picture's already in my browser in my browser in Google Chrome, and I just click on it and it gives me like a quick and easy thing. Photo Room was already using Photo Room, and I'm going to talk about that funny little story with that later. But things that just integrate. I've tried the eBay AI, not really a fan of that, and it doesn't really fit in my listing flow. But it's where things are going. Vendu, I use Vendu, that fits into the flow where I can get a little more descriptive with my items and have it fill in some of the item specifics for me. But everything that's how I've done it. I haven't changed anything, but it's just integrated into all these things. And if I find I can easily use it and incorporate it, of course I'm going to do it. Along with, I have tried out and love one of our community members, Jason Wells, has developed this Chat GPT program. We'll talk about that because
We'll talk about it.
Let's talk about it right now.
Let's talk about this. We're going to talk about how all these things work right now in our reselling business that we use.
Yeah. So if you're a member of our Patreon group, he provides this program. He will provide this program to our Patreon members, and it gives you upload into Chat GPT a photo. Like how I use this, I don't use it on every listing. Some of the stuff I just know and I don't need it. But I had a collection of vintage wear that I knew nothing about. They were all different eras, all different brands, some of them handmade. I put those into his Chat GPT program, Listing Comp, and it spit out what it was, the style it was, a suggested eBay title, suggested Poshmark title, and gave me the information I needed and the comps, and it just made things so easy.
His program is amazing because then it's how many of those items are listed live right now, how many have free shipping, how many, it breaks everything down that a reseller would want to know.
Yeah. And for something I knew nothing about, it would really just gave me good, a lot of the times I used exactly what it gave me, but a lot of times it like let me delve further into research. Oh, this is an A-line dress from the 60s. Like here's some, it gave me a starting point for that.
Right.
Which was
Right.
amazing.
And yeah, in those key terms of like, oh, if I talk about this style of it, then now I can find some comps on it or some similar things or a blog post or whatever. Yeah. He also takes it one step further because he also uses Nifty. So he has made an extension that you can just click the extension, and then you can go to your Nifty tab and click it again, and it copies and pastes all of the modules that he has in the chat GPT. It copies it into your Nifty listing so that you can move it all over and then tweak it from there. So yeah.
Back it up a little bit and tell us about what Nifty is in case people don't know exactly what Nifty is.
Yeah, Nifty is a cross-listing platform and inventory management. So you upload all of your listings into there, and then it will list things into eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. Those are the 5. And whatnot. They're beta testing whatnot right now. So yeah, you could upload everything. Now, that being said, since Jason made this, Nifty has integrated their own AI and made it more robust. They had it before, but now you can train it just like ChatGPT. It allows up to, I think, like 1,000 or 1,200 characters or something, where you can say, make a title like this, brand, color, size, and you can do all of that. So it takes those photos and any notes you put in, and you can structure it just as you want. So Jason has also come up with prompts that he used in his GPT, and he gave those to us for those of us that use Nifty, and we can train our AI in Nifty as well. So
the other way I like to use his AI is, and really I've used it some in the form you're talking about, where I've gone in and used it, put a photo in that I couldn't identify, brought it all in. And what's nice is if it can't identify it, you can just quickly put one word like, tie, if it thinks it's a sock, but that rarely happens. And oh, this is a tie. And then boom, it finds it. But I use it when I'm out sourcing. And that's what I like. If there's an item I don't know, it is so much quicker for me to take a quick snap of that than to go through the eBay research tool sometimes just to do a quick comp on that item. And that's what I have used it for.
Wait,
more than.
Are you using ChatGPT on your phone? Like, is that what I've never. Okay.
What, you do everything on your
I do everything on my phone. My ChatGPT's on my phone. And so I will just pop up his module and snap a picture while I'm out there, and boom, get the comps real quick. Yeah. So I use it probably similar to Libby. I'm not. The AI that I use the most is Photo Room, which, if you're not familiar with that, it is a online platform, an app that you can remove backgrounds from your photos, add AI backgrounds to it, put it on
a mannequin.
Like a faux mannequin. It'll put it on a person. It does all kinds of things.
Okay, how do we feel about that? How do we feel about clothing being put on fake people?
I've seen other people's versions of them, and I'm surprised at how well they look. I don't do it. I am old school 90% of the time, because everything I do is 90%, we know. I am 90% of the time white background item there on all pictures. I did do an AI background probably for the first time this week, because I got a high-end brooch that I was listing for several $100s, and I wanted to make it stand out. So I tried the AI background, and I really liked what it produced. So I used that as my main photo.
It looks beautiful.
That's not something I'll do on the regular. I'm the old school, crisp, clean. I list like I shop.
I just wonder how it would be with like stuff that has flaws. Like, I feel like it's taking something and it's making it too fake. So like, shout out to Darcy, the podunk picker. He has been posting how he's playing with AI, and he did a military army issued uniform or shirt. It was the greens. And he asked AI to put it on a person and make a realistic photo out of it. And it looks like a postcard from a war zone that had it was weird. And it looks like a legit person. But then I wonder, does that take away from the actual fact that you're just trying to sell the army green shirt? And is it covering up any flaws or blemishes that the item has? Because now you have a whole scene to go along with it.
So I think the scene would be too distracting for me personally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the whole scene. I think it's one thing to do like it on a mannequin or a person with no background. But if you get into a full scene, I think absolutely that takes away from the highlight of the item that you're selling. I don't see a problem using it to put it on a mannequin or a person for your first photo, as long as the rest of your photos are raw photos showing those kind of details, the issues or the, all that detail. That's how I feel, but I think
I kind of want to go back to Scavenger Life, the OGs, the reselling podcasting OGs, and
back before the internet was invented,
right? Yeah. And
no offense.
They would have the debate occasionally about like a real photo of an item versus like something that is polished, like something where you remove the background, or something like if you're pointing to a flaw, like should you use your finger or should you not? And they usually cite it on the fact that they wanted to project that this is a real person selling a real item that is probably, working for them, not a big corporation. And they did not want their things to look corporate or, too polished. And I think there's like a counterpoint to that. Absolutely.
100%.
I agree with that. As a consumer, when I buy my refurbished smartwatch, because I ain't never buying these new, not happening. But when I buy them, how every single listing has the same stock photo for a Galaxy Gear 5, whatever. But when I'm looking through the actual listing, I want to see the fact that they zoomed up. It's on a table just like mine, and they're zoomed up to show the little scratch in the corner or the whatever, and their finger can be in it, the pen can be in it, whatever, but like I want to see a real photo to know that I'm getting a real item.
My finger and hands are in so many pictures in our eBay store because I don't care. I just hold an item up. I mean, I was doing paper doll books last week, and I would just hold the book up, flip it, snap, open it, my hands in all of them, and guess what sold the day after I listed it? Paper doll books with my hand in them.
You better list more than 90% of those babies.
I touch blemishes with my finger, even if my nails aren't the prettiest that day. I just do it. The only thing that I say a huge gigantic no on, I do not want to see your feet in any
I was just going to mention that.
No.
Yes.
Finger, hand, face. Do not put your scruzzy feet. I don't care if you just got manicured. Nobody wants to see it. There's a whole nother website for that, and it has nothing to do with reselling.
So I think it also helps show, like, this is such an awkward item because it goes against a wall. You're trying to show that it pops out. It is curved. But then also, as I'm holding it to like take the different photos, it also helps show how big it is. I mean, I have photos with measurements, I have tape measures, and I have the whole 9 yards. But I think this just helps relay, like, oh, it's about that, the head's about the size of her hand and whatever.
Because people, like, in general, right? Like, if you say, 4 inches, like that doesn't. People aren't thinking like that. Us as resellers, we know exactly what that is. Hairstylists know exactly what that is, right? Like some people know exactly what. But I want to say the vast majority of people, like when they read like 4x1 or whatever it is, they're not. There's no like visual image. There's no perspective.
And like, are you saying that the normal person doesn't have 7 tape measures sitting around their house? One in the car, one in their purse, one in their pocket, one on the coffee table.
As soon as you said hairdresser, I thought of the tattoo. I'm like, should resellers just start getting the measurement tattoo on their arm?
Oh, that's a good idea. You'll be in the thrift store and go, okay, well, yep, that's what I'm looking for.
That is not a bad idea.
You see hairdressers that do it on their finger so they can give a trim or whatever. Yeah.
What, that have tattoos on their finger?
Yeah, that was a trend for a while. I don't know if anybody
really. I
I
never saw that.
I don't know if anybody really used
All right,
it, but
we're
it
gonna
was
do
definitely a
tape
sign.
measures.
Tape measures.
Yeah.
There's our group tattoo, guys. Besties.
Yep. All right, when we go to Orlando in November, guys, we're
gosh.
tatting up our arm.
That is so smart. I said I'd never
Right?
get a tattoo, but geez.
Well, do you have to do your arm and your leg? Because those things that are bigger, you need a full leg for. versus
Especially
just
for
your arm.
furniture. For furniture sellers,
Yeah. You
could
just stand up
put
next to
your
it and go, 4 feet high.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
I just want everybody to know we had a nice outline. We spent so much time on what we were going to talk about in this episode, and we are 15 minutes in, and it's off the rails.
Off the rails.
All right,
Well,
so
that
I
we
want
always
to talk about
just
like
talking points.
the other part, my little story about photo room and
Yes, please
removing
do.
the backgrounds, and I do the nice
Yes.
shadow, and I do all this stuff. Occasionally I'll get a message, is this a real photo? I think we all get those messages occasionally. But I had a Blu-ray disc the other day, and I had the real photos up there, and guy messages me, can I please have pictures of the real item? And I said, these are pictures of the real item. He says to me, no, they're not. And I said, yes, I use a background remover. These are the actual photos of the disc. And he came back to me and he called me a jerk. And saying like I was trying to scam because my photos were too good, right? They looked too professional. Now, I don't want him buying from me anyway, whatever. He's a one-off, but like, is that an impression people have? Like, it's too professional. Kind of goes with what Scavenger Life was saying. You know, am I buying this from some random, Chinese company?
I think that happens less than it doesn't happen all the time.
No.
I think I've gotten a message. I know I've gotten at least one, but maybe 2 messages since using background remover, a couple of years ago, however long ago it came out. And maybe a couple in that time that have said, do you have photos that aren't stock? And I'm like, these are not stock. And I never got the jerk response back. They're just like, okay, thank you. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it might depend on your platform, your audience of what types of items you're selling. Like if you're selling electronics, they're going to be more likely to think that than if you're selling, I don't know, vintage dresses or something. But for my Facebook group, like I went hardcore on all of the background removal things when that started coming out. And I went deep into it. And then I regressed back to my gray wall, the hook on the wall. I don't remove backgrounds for most of my clothing, unless it shows my floor or like something around it, then I start removing things. But otherwise, it's faster to not have to remove the backgrounds and just have it be ready. And people stopped buying from me in Facebook for that reason, because they thought Samantha started getting pallets of stuff, and Samantha wasn't the same Samantha that used to sell consignment. And Samantha, because they knew me and they knew what I sold, and then all of a sudden I started listing on other platforms. I wasn't listing over there much more, and they saw like the change, but they didn't realize it was just a change in technology. I'm still selling your neighbor's consignment. I'm just
Yeah, I get that. The other thing that I use, I think the AI that I use the absolute most along with Photo Room is Google Lens. And I use that on the reg. That's like a daily use.
How I always say, like, how did we survive before Google? And I do remember a time before Google, but how honestly did anybody survive before Google Lens? Like this, I use it 20 million times a day for everything.
I go back to Libby and I in the storefront when something unique would come in and the owner wouldn't know what it was. And I would spend hours down a rabbit hole on the internet, just typing, going into this, trying to find what this item was. And now I use it when I do my listings, and that's why I don't use AI in my listings, even though Vendoo offers it. By the way, y'all, we're not putting it up there. Vendoo, nifty. If you are not using them, want to try one, code chats. You can use code chats for that. But I still do the old school way, but I use Google Lens to Google the item to get the title. It'll pop up live listings when I Google Lens it. I will click on that eBay listing, pop it up, see what they have it priced for, then take a hint of their description, throw it in the basic eBay search, let that pop up sold, and then I sell similar to the highest priced one that I like the SEO words that is sold, and my item is listed. It literally takes me 5 minutes to do a listing from Google Lens to a live listing. Now, I don't use it in eBay. I think probably I can count on one hand how many times I've used eBay AI to redo a description. I've never used them on my titles, but I have used it on a description before just to see and played around with it, I think probably 4 or 5 times, but I just don't. I'm a simplistic boom, 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 get her done, move on.
Yeah, it's a little wordy. I'm still of the mindset that people just want the basics when they're shopping. They don't want the fluff of this is going to look good with a jean jacket on a bright sunny day or whatever.
Yes.
I
like that Nifty changed their AI so that I can train it, because I can just say, like, I have things in bullet points because I do believe that is important. Like, it literally just says brand, size, in case they're not paying attention to the photos that say it and the title that says it, and I try to keep it like that as well.
No, see, that I would like. That's my kind of shopping. I want to go in. I want to see what it is. I want to know the brand, the size, the color, any flaws. Move on. Like,
because let's be real. Don't spend a ton of time on a description that eBay has such a hard time showing your customers. It is so hard, whether you're on mobile or a desktop, to actually shop and see all of the information that we are putting in as sellers. It's so hard to see as a buyer. Even as a seller who is very familiar with eBay.
Yep.
I shop on there all the time. My husband shops on there, and he knows I got to look at the description because that's where people are going to list flaws. That's where people are going to, and it is a struggle to find a description half the time. They change where it is. They change where you have to click to see it, how far you have to scroll down the page. It's a pain in the butt. So yes, it's a great spot to have information and to cover your butt. Like, people should have looked for it, but you don't spend a ton of time fluffing it up and putting all that information in there, because it's hard to see. It's hard to find.
It is. And I don't think it's going to get any easier. I think they're just moving toward the item specifics and having those filled out. And the description is just extra.
I'm going to throw this out now, and we'll probably throw it out several times throughout this episode. Yeah. If you do use AI for your descriptions, please be sure to read it over before you post it live. As good as AI is, AI does still make mistakes. So don't just go off of it and throw it out there, because there are mistakes that can be made. So
we touched on this a little bit on our live a couple weeks ago when we had Johnny and Lizzie on. I have a virtual assistant that originally, when I hired her on, it was to, put everything on Poshmark, put everything on Etsy, keep up with my cross listing. Well, now as things have, that's all caught up, and she keeps up with that kind of stuff. She does whatever. I'm trying to make sure she has enough hours, and I'm utilizing her to take care of stuff that saves me time so I can take more photos. That's the end game. I need to take more photos, get more listings up. And Johnny specifically said, well, now that AI and Nifty AI is so good, do you really need your assistant? Yes, because I don't want to read through all that AI. I don't want to make sure that they put the correct measurements that match my photos, or that the brand is spelled correctly, that's why I have Jenny. Jenny hits the AI generation button and it fills all the things in. And then she goes through and makes sure that the red shirt actually says red down in the description, because it's pretty accurate, and she's very quick at it, and everybody misses stuff. But you can't just hit it and publish it. You have to look through those things and make sure that the shirt that you are listing doesn't say pants in the description or in the item specifics. So that is something that I utilize my virtual assistant.
Yeah, the details. Sure. And then even for collectibles, this is AI is pulling information. If everybody has that collectible, if the majority of people have that collectible misidentified, guess what? AI is going to misidentify it.
Yeah.
And that happens with collectibles frequently.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bad information out there.
I was listing Lincoln Logs. They don't make square. Lincoln Log never made square Lincoln Logs. This is a different American Heritage Company or something like that. And AI every single time said that they were Lincoln Logs because that's how everybody has them listed. And I don't want to list them wrong. I definitely want logs in the title, in the description, but they're not Lincoln Logs. Right. So yeah, that is something where I then told Jenny, like, hey, this is going to pop up. Make sure that the next 20 listings say this. And she took care of that for me. Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about we're breaking down how we use it, that kind of thing. Let's talk about the good and the bad of using AI in different ways. Because I know for me, I always want to find the fastest way to get my work done. So for me, I've already just explained to you what I use it for, because that is the quickest way for me to process through it. For somebody else, what makes it faster might be maybe you don't write, maybe describing things and coming up with terminology and SEO words frightens, and it's not your strong point, and you triple guess yourself all the time, and you need that help. Then that's a great way for you to use it, but to me, the reason for it is time saving.
Absolutely. I never worried about all the extra fields, all the keywords in Etsy, or the item specifics that weren't required in eBay. The platforms like those, they really do. Our listings are seen more. They're higher in searches. They're easier to search, but I didn't have time for all that. But if AI can fill that out and generate 20 keywords and generate then great. My listings are better for it. And I didn't spend any extra time doing it.
I think that's a great reason to use it right there. Absolutely. I think for me that, ways that I would overthink things, that decision fatigue would hit because I would go down rabbit holes trying to find what something is and know exactly. That's a no-brainer for me. Sometimes I like it for SEO words, for that kind of thing, because sometimes my brain isn't working at that time of day and I can't come up with the keywords that I'm looking for. And so then I might hop over and say, help me out, and use Jason's awesome little tool and get some good SEO words from that, because it comes up with some great titles. But I don't do it on the regular. I just don't. Other good things. Let's think. I like the idea of what you're saying, and I'm wondering, I know we said Vindu is, I think, in beta testing on their AI. I love that Nifty lets you train yours, because that will really help, I think, for it's the way you want it, and it's not some mumbo jumbo stuff. I like that.
Yeah, and then it keeps things consistent so that all of my listings have the bullet points. All of my listings have the keywords. It just, the structure. I like everything cohesive and structured.
Yeah.
All right. So reducing like decision fatigue, right? That's a big one. And I think, sometimes you're just looking and it's blank, right? Like you're like looking at this vintage dress and it's a vintage dress and you're just like, where do I even start? Like, all right, that's awesome for that. I pop Google Lens on for a lot of those listings and just get like a general,
like I know the
and
decade.
then I roll with that.
Right. Like I know the cut of that dress, but it's just not coming to me. I just can't whoop. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
The other thing that it's kind of cool for, I don't know if you guys have come across this, but sometimes like Zara is a big one, like that brand. Some of those pieces are worth a good bit because, a celebrity has worn them. Most of them are not worth a lot, but a lot of time, like if you Google, so I Google Lens every single Zara piece I have. And, occasionally it was like featured on a soap opera or, this celebrity wore it and that particular piece is worth a bit more. Yeah. Google Lens is awesome for that. Like I would never know that. I'm not on TikTok, like scrolling TikTok and I don't know. I'm not keeping up with that, but definitely helps with that.
So there are definitely some pluses on the AI for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And here's a big one. Like if you're a new reseller or you are learning a new niche, can use niche. You can use it. You can use it to learn, right? Like let's say you are getting into miniatures. You Google Lens everyone, and like you're learning different brands, you're learning different descriptions, you're learning what to look for when you source. Like it can be an awesome learning tool for newer resellers or somebody getting into something new.
And as we've said a couple times already in this episode, when you Google Lens something, you can then you're just doing the photo. If it's not giving you what you want, you don't have things that match it, you can put up at the top extra keywords. So if you Google Lens the cover of a book, but it's showing you that type of dog that was on the cover of the book and not a book, you can put up there book or like the author's name or something, and it'll help refine that search. And a lot of people don't realize, go back to the top, add a couple keywords, it'll help refine it for you.
That sounds like it would be a good tutorial.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
This takes me to because you see all this back and forth online all the time about AI, good or bad, good or bad. So this brings me to the case against it, which we already hit on a little earlier too, is accuracy issues. You gotta check, because I have had silk items that were brought up as linen items, or if it's not the materials, it's brands, you gotta double check everything. You gotta, because then you have that lovely INAD coming at you, and nobody wants those. Nobody wants those returns. Nobody wants them.
Yeah. And if you don't really know anything about, like, I'm thinking of a shirt I had that had no fabric content size that it felt to be satin, but the AI description kept coming up as silk. Like, you need to do a deeper dive. Like, if the AI is telling you it's silk, don't take it as, don't take that as true. So even if you're not familiar with it or you don't know, don't be afraid to dive a little bit deeper and double check that.
Or at that point, do you put in your description, feels like satin, but AI is telling me it's silk? My guess is as good as yours. Like,
here's what I did actually. Silky.
Okay.
So
why silky?
Oh,
silky blouse.
I like it. So one of the controversial hot takes is a lot of people will say, oh, well, now that everybody can go out and do this, then the resellers don't have an edge anymore. All of our knowledge is wasted. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. But stuff like that still matters. The touch, the being able to know the difference between the velvety, the silky, the whatever, like that still makes a difference. It definitely helps other people, and it's going to help, but there's so much information that you still have to be able to sort through it all and make sure it's accurate. Because like I've tried to tell my husband before, he's like, well, the Google search said this, and I'm like, that Google search is pulling Facebook posts and summarizing them into their thing, and you can't believe anything on Facebook. Are you kidding me? Like, there's like, and it's pulling it in here and telling you that's a fact. That's not how that works.
It's not seeing all the crazing and the 3 chips on the underside of it. So it's not a pickup, sweetheart. Yeah. I mean, you're never going to lose your skills from, does it dumb you down to use it? Does it dumb you down? No, because you still have to have that skill set that you use when you go out sourcing items or listing items. It's a helper. It's not a taker over.
Right.
Getting too comfortable and relying on it is what will do that to you. If you start relying on it, that's when the INADs come in. That's when returns come in. This said it was this and not that. You didn't see that it put it as new with tags when it's not. Or yeah.
Yep. And then, as with anything electronic, anything World Wide Web, anything platformish, you got to worry if they go down. I mean, we just had eBay have issues, right?
Oh my goodness.
What
Yes.
happens if you are solely reliant on AI to run your business and do your business and it goes down? What are you going to do?
I'm putting our cross-listing things back up here. Vendu and Nifty. Use code CHATS because there are times when I think, like, should I just put everything into eBay? Should I put everything into Etsy? And should I just not, even though I only list to 3 platforms, should I just not worry about it? And then eBay went down. And my God, was I glad that I had Poshmark. And I never thought that I would say that, but I was so happy that I had Poshmark because that's the only way I made money last week because I only made 4 sales in like a 5-day period on eBay. So yeah.
I think that you can't over rely on it. And I, like I said earlier, I am a much faster lister without AI than I am with AI as a whole. So, and you don't want to over rely on any of these things, any of them.
Agreed.
You got to be able to fly the plane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't fly the plane.
Well, you know what I think about all the time, and it does relate to this, but so bear with me for just a second. Like I think about learning how to drive, right? When we learned how to drive, we learned how to drive a stick shift and, how the car actually worked and like all the things. Now, my kids learned to drive on old cars, so they're fine. But like the generation now learning to drive, and they're trying to like learning on these self-driving cars pretty much.
Yeah. That was my niece learning on it. They had a Tesla, self-driving Tesla. And the older siblings were like, she's never going to be able to drive because she's in this.
Right. And if something happens, you're not going to know how to react. You're not going to have that, that experience of knowing how to drive the car. Like I worry about that. What if you have to roll down a window in an old school car? Like they're not going to know. Oh my gosh.
And actually crank it around. Holy moly.
Well, and even with all of our cross-listing tools and all of that, I try to make sure that I go in and generically list something once in a while, or at least go through the motions. I love it. I think Consignment Chats gives me a good use of that because people will ask, hey, I'm trying to list something into Poshmark and it's not letting me. I'm trying to do this. I don't know where the field is. And so I'll go, ooh, let me pull that up because I like to stay familiar with that too. Because there may be a situation or a time when I need to just list to that platform or they change something and I'm not understanding technology hasn't caught up or what's not jiving, and just to stay familiar with their forms and how to do those things. I don't know. I feel like that's important too every once in a while.
Yeah. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Drive that car, Samantha.
Oh my gosh,
I know how it works.
Don't ask me to drive a stick shift though. It's been about a decade, and I don't know if I would burn that clutch right up. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, to me, the middle ground, we say this all the time with a lot of stuff. That's take the middle ground, right? Like, and I think that's what we've pretty much been saying this whole way, and how we all use it is use AI as an assistant, not a replacement. Let it write that base description, then you add flaws and measurements, or let it research the item for you in Google Lens. Figure out the way that it's best assist you without replacing you. I like this.
I loved your point of don't rely on it. Don't rely on it. Don't let your whole listing process. If AI goes down, you need to still be able to list if something happens.
Yeah. I mean, and like we talk about with like I think about the t-shirt bros. The t-shirt bros get all those t-shirts and they know when they pick up like an old band t-shirt, this is a $200 t-shirt. AI is not going to know that's a $200 t-shirt. It's going to see that t-shirt and say, oh, it's a vintage band t-shirt. But because there are certain things, like I share these in our Instagram stories all the time of these guys with the Levi's and the t-shirts, that the details that they know, I don't know because that's not my niche. I'm not that into it, but the details that they know about the single versus double stitching, the tags, what type of tag, if you flip it this way or flip it that way, what it means, what AI doesn't pick up on all those details. It just doesn't. But that reseller who that's their niche, they know. But if
Mhm.
they relied on AI, they would lose hundreds of dollars in a listing if that was the way they sourced it. So I
Well, and
say the human brain's
there's some stuff that's just so fast that we have a hard time keeping up with it. AI is not going to keep up with it either. If I put in a talking cookie jar from the 90s, it's going to tell me that it's worth $30 because that's what Joe sold them for last year. Sorry, Joe.
Mhm.
And then, but my niece is
True
like,
story.
but my niece is like, oh my God, those are the coolest thing ever. Everybody on TikTok wants those. Sweet. I'm going to list it for $200 then because there's that. And yeah. Or it's going, or a lot of these tools, a lot of the Mercari, Poshmark, they give you that suggested pricing too. Like that's a form of AI. Oh, we're going to take the average of all the ones that are listed or for sale, and we're going to, eBay's been doing it forever of the suggested pricing. Used to be pretty accurate in eBay. I feel like maybe like 5-6 years ago, it actually was like, oh, I should start my auction at that, or oh, that is a good buy it now. But now prices range so wildly, and things are so, there are so many people that aren't doing the research, so they're selling that thing for $20 and it's really worth $100. Or like me, I'm partying that game out, so that's going to throw off because I still have a lot of the same keywords for that board game, but I'm only selling the tokens for $20, not the whole game for $50. You're trying to sell the whole game. Like there's other things that you got to research and you got to know.
Yeah. I think it's best used for like your bread and butter items, your things that you list all the time, those, and not using it for listing descriptions of your rare items, your vintage items, your, like I was saying, those specialty band t-shirts, those kind of things. You can use them to help identify, but maybe you're going to need to do a deeper dive on some of that other stuff personally. And then it keeps your gray matter growing. It keeps it alive. It keeps it growing. It keeps it going, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. So.
I just want you guys to know that I think of Joe and Nicole's daughter, Anna, Miss A Crochets. I think of her cute little face every time I type something into ChatGPT.
I know, because she's so against it.
She's so against it. And I live in a state that has a lot of water, if y'all don't know that. And all the data centers want to come here and take all the water from the Great Lakes. I don't know anything about that, but I know it's bad. And I just have a struggle. So there is that part of it as well. But so Anna, or if you're watching this and you're like, I hate this whole episode, it's all about it. I understand that there are environmental things and there's a lot of other controversial stuff right now. But dang it, it's really helping our businesses, okay?
Yeah. So true story, y'all. I came up with the cutest little AI-driven image for Earth Day and sent it to Samantha, and it was so cute of the three of us with all our Earth Day stuff. She's like, isn't it slightly wrong to be putting an AI for an Earth Day post? And I'm like, yup.
Because Anna's face was right here that day. She's probably out there planting trees and we're using AI.
Right? Oh.
The struggle is real, people. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know from our audience, I want you guys to put in the comment what tools you're using now. How do you use AI? Are you using AI in your business? And what do you find works well for you? And what do you stay away from? I mean, I know there's a lot of people I see on social media, resellers, that are very against it. Because most of us in reselling are very environmentally conscious about it's why we do what we do. But, things are changing and you got to kind of figure that balance out.
Balancing it. Yeah. If you do more consignment, you could use more AI. I don't know. What's that?
Gotta balance it out. I don't know. I get my solar panels up and I made a cute image for Earth Day on AI. I don't know.
Right. But I'm gonna go clean the side of the highway now. Jesus.
Right. So guys, whether you love it, whether you hate it, it's the future of reselling. It's very clear. I mean, reselling and consignment, it's here. It's all being written now. So I say don't fully turn your back on it if you have, and maybe look a little into it. That's just my 2 cents, right?
Yeah.
All right, let us know below.
Maybe, just maybe. Sorry, Molly. Maybe, just maybe, it enhances reselling. It is helping. The offset of the environment is it's helping get more recycled items, reused items out there. We're able to sell them faster. The resale market is going to pick up, and it's going to become more of a thing because we're able to recycle things and reuse things a little more easily. So maybe that'll offset it. I don't know.
There's our balance right there, y'all. There
That's the balance I'm thinking of today.
All right, drop below Team AI or Team Human Intuition. Let us know. Hot topic. We want to hear your side. We really do. But just remember, be nice. And before you comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe. We need that subscription. Come on. And don't forget, this is my last thing to say before we cheers out. Thrift, Find, Flip, our other channel. I know that a lot of you listening on podcast or watching us on YouTube have not yet gone over there and subscribed. Thrift, Find, Flip. Hit us up with a subscription, please. We are working hard over there.
All right.
All right, girls, until next time. I don't have our faces this time.
Cheers.
Thanks, Libby, for putting our faces out there.
It's
We got morels. Good